Okay, this is project one, and phase one involves large-scale structure of the STEM building area. We're going to put the science building, chemistry building in there, and a couple of other things too. These 5 things. Phase two involves a floor plan that will be described in another video. So let's get started on the large-scale structure. You can right-click on this image right here and save it to the desktop. You can see I've already done that. Right there is my image. So I'm going to hit cancel right there. Then I'll load up Sketchup and import that image. The template I want to use here is, well, I guess any one of them, as long as that when you get it started up here, you make sure that you have the scale set to feet. And you can do that by going to Window, Model Info, and select the units down over here. And I'm going to set mine on engineering, and I got it on feet right there. So I think I'll just keep that to that precision. I might come back later and change that to a single foot precision, but while we're scaling this satellite view, it might be good to leave it with that extended precision. Import the image from the desktop. I'll place it at the origin, arbitrarily size it right here. Then I'm going to use the scale located on the image itself, and that's located near the horseshoe building right there. See if I can get to it. There's the horseshoe shaped building. You can see the scale, it's right here. Let me rotate that into view. And use the tape measure tool to rescale this image so that it's not just a couple of feet wide, it's actually going to be 100 feet. So I clicked at the beginning and end of that scale. I'm typing in 100 feet on the keyboard. You can see that down here in the lower right hand side. 100 single quote like that. Hit enter. And it didn't look like it took there, so let me try again. Click here and there. 100 feet and then hit enter. It says, do you want to resize the model? I'm going to say yes there, and it zooms way in on that, obviously. And I'm going to zoom around here until I can find the guy out there in the field. There he is. And just for practice, I can click on him with the selection tool, move him over to the center of the cul-de-sac, for example. We're going to start with the science building. If you go back to the website, click on that right there. You'll see this is the science building. We'll lay that one down first. All right, there's the building. Let's come over the top of it just a little bit and put a rectangle there. Although we have a perspective here, we can actually put the base at the top of the building. I realize that there is some perspective because of the satellite view, but just for simplicity's sake and trying to get the scale right, we can assume that the foundation is basically sized by using the top of the building like so. This is a 3-story building, and you'll notice that in the instructions I want to add a couple of extra feet than what we did in class here. Got 12 feet right there. I want to use a couple of feet, for the electricity and plumbing, say, that's in the roof. It's not that important as far as designing it, but we do want to use 12 feet per floor. That means we're going to go up 36 feet. I'm going to go up way too high, and then I'm going to type in 36 single quote, and that's going to rescale it down to 3 stories high like that. Let's add a little bit of detail. We can select this offset tool, select the edge, move it in just a little bit. We're going to make kind of a barrier to prevent people from falling off the roof. This really exists on the top of that building. So I'm going to click right there, and then I'm going to say that that's just a 2-foot concrete wall there, and I need to raise it up, say 4 feet. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, see if I can find that edge with my push-pull tool. Got to find just that edge. I can pull it up way too tall there, and click to release, and then put 4 feet so that it rescales it down properly. Zoom back a little bit, and you can see that now I have that barrier there for the top of that building. You also see that on the satellite view I have a L-shaped structure like that. I'm going to approximate that one, have it thin this way and long that way. Don't really need to make very accurate measurements here, but just roughly build out an L-shaped thing, and this is the 4th floor, 12 feet tall on that. I'm going to rotate around to the other side of the building and select a rectangle here that I'm going to pull forward to make the L, just like so. All right, and then there is our science building. I want you to texture that to not have it just flat. So put some bricks siding on the side here, and also put gravel on the top here. You can put brick right there and gravel on the top here. I'll let you decide what kind of texture you want to use on the science building. Okay, next you see here we have the chemistry building, which is 3 stories. You can use this campus map link right here to determine where it is, or just follow my mouse around here on the video. So you can see that the chemistry building is located right over here. Baker Patillo Student Center is right off in this area here. This is the chemistry building right there. I'm going to again use the top of the roof as a reference for the size of the foundation. Remember, I need to go 36 feet high, 12 foot for floor. A little bit different than what we did before in class, giving a little extra height to these buildings. Create an inset. Again, I can make it 2 feet. Inset, zoom in a bit, push pull, locate that edge, pull it up, click, and then 4 feet just for the edge there. That's all we really want to do for this. Again, I want you to texture this surface with brick of any shade that you want to. You can actually go off to Google Maps and figure out what the true colors of these are if you like. And then you can put gravel here on the top of that. Okay, and for this next building, it's the Kennedy Auditorium. It's it's this octagon-shaped building right here, and it's 2 stories high, as we see there. So you want to use this octagon tool, or the polygon tool rather. When you click and drag this, you see right now mine is actually in the octagon shape, although not really well positioned. But when I first did it, it was in the hexagon shape. So after I clicked and release, I had to type in 8S, and it reshaped it. If I type in 6S, let's see what happens when I do that. Well, didn't do it, so I'm going to hit Control Z to bounce out of that. When I draw this again, and maybe I'll put 5S and hit Enter, you can see it made it a pentagon. So I guess that's how we force it to be an octagon, is to make type 8S after you lay down this shape there. So I'm going to hit Control Z to undo, click, drag out here. It's still a pentagon. I'm going to type in 8S. That's pretty well placed, but still not too happy with it, so I'm going to try it one more time, and now it remembers that this is an octagon, hopefully. I'm going to be satisfied with that right there. Push pull up, and I'm going to go up, how about 24 feet? So not as high as the other building here. Also, I want you to texture this building here, put some gravel on the top. You can also go ahead and put a like a roof, cover roof over here if you want to connect this to part of that building if you like. And you can also say, while you're at it, build out the elevator for the science building if you like, right there. Okay, let's see what else is on the list. All right, the resident life operation building, it's 3 stories and it's U-shaped. So going back over here and going to this side of the campus, you'll see there's Todd Hall, which we're going to put a building on top of that of a different shape. You'll see the U-shaped structure right there. All right, and again, assuming that the roof is a good estimate for the size of the base, we're going to go there and there, like so. And then I'm going to rotate around in a minute and kind of push that side in. This is a 3-story building, so again, I'm going up 36 feet, rotating around, using these intersection points as a reference. Perhaps I'll approximate it as right there, and probably right about there. I don't really know how far to push it in. Let's see if it will reveal something down there. There we go. Kind of reveals that, so we can stop at that point to get a good size estimate for this building, which is called Residence Life Operations. Again, that's on the campus map, linked back over on that document if you need to take a closer look at that. Go ahead and add some texture to this one as well, so perhaps some brick. Do the roof inset as I showed you a moment ago, and gravel on the top as well. Alright, so here's where the STEM building is going to be, and you can see that from the instructions back over here that we're looking at a 170 foot by 165 foot building over the Todd Hall area and 50 feet diameter planetarium. Let's do the planetarium first. If you look at the space that we're going to utilize here, this can be the parking lot right here, so we want the structure extending over that road right there and over this building here. Let's put the planetarium right up in this corner, so you can grab the circle tool and click and drag that out, click and release, and then type in 25 feet. We'll resize it to a 50-foot dome in diameter. At that point, you can grab the rectangle tool and click on the edge, and that kind of helps you highlight the center. So if you kind of hover around the center, sometimes that center doesn't appear, but clicking on the edge first does. And then if you kind of zoom this back a little bit, what you want to do is type in, I think 165. Let's try to type in the 170 feet in first, and then comma 165 feet after that. See if it sizes it properly. We can check to make sure it sized it properly by using this measurement tool like that. You can see that right below my cursor it does say 170, so that is going to be correct. That is the correct dimensions. Alright, so then what I can do here is erase those lines right there. And that makes this one solid surface that I could, I guess, extrude up into the third dimension using push-pull. And we're going to make this 4 stories, so how about 48 feet? There it is. Alright, I do want you to do the roof as we did over here by having the 4-foot wall 2 feet thick up here on the roof. Texture the side of the surface with a nice looking brick texture, and then let's go zoom into the face here and just put a label on this building. And so what you can do is go to the text tool, which I don't really see up here. So I'm going to go to tools and see if I can actually find that. Maybe I have to right click on the menu here and select, oh, that's the getting started. Let's go to the large tool set, right click and remove the getting started one like that. Now I have a text tool that I can use. I can type in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, maybe STEM up above it like so, and then place that on the building here. What I can do to resize that to make it a bigger logo, I believe, is to use the scale tool right there. See if I can carefully grab a corner, scale this up a little bit. Could make the font for that stem be a little bit bigger if I wanted to do that. And then I can also move it on the surface by grabbing it here and moving it around. So I'm going to challenge you to actually make these 2 different text things. Let's make STEM really big, and science, technology, engineering, and mathematics right below that. You can even say STEM Center if you want to, so you can be a bit creative with this. Another thing I would challenge you to do is to have that text wrap around that surface. So that would be kind of a challenging thing to do. Okay, and lastly, let's add a few components. So go to Windows, Window, Components, and then I'm under the selecting component here. I guess if I go back here, you see something that looks like this, Component Sampler. And I think I'm just going to grab some cars here. So I'd like to add, for you to add 5 cars to this area, and you can see that they're pretty well scaled with what we have there. So I want you to add 5 cars out there, and you can use the rotate tool to rotate these cars around. See if I can find that tool right there. Yeah, so once you look at an aerial view of a car, for example, and you place it right here, you can use this rotate tool right here to position it like it's shown right there. So let's say I want you to put at least 5 cars out there, and you can make one of them delivery truck if you like. And let's also put 5 trees out there, and I'll just grab one out here, and you can kind of put them where the existing trees are if you like. And one last thing here, let me pan over to that area, zoom in. Just like the other elements on here, you can resize. So if you select the resize tool, select the top here, you can resize these trees and make them a variety of different sizes. So let's say add at least 5 cars, 5 trees, and make sure that you texture the buildings, add the roof elements that I discussed before, and then pan back to this position right about here. Get a good camera angle on this. At that point, go File, Save As, and save it to My Documents or your desktop, whichever you prefer. Make sure that you use the file name, this right here, EGR112 minus phase1.skp, and then upload that document using your campus ID and email address. I'll have another video for phase 2. Hope this helps.